Hello guys and welcome back to another video. I'm Nathan, or hopefully as you know me by now as the Whiskey Speaker. If you're new to my channel, welcome and thank you for checking me out. If you're returning, then welcome back. It's always good to just kind of get on board those who have been following me since the very early days through the dreadful COVID, and now have been continuing to progress and expand their whiskey knowledge, and hopefully I'm able to help with that. Today's brand that I'm going to be showcasing for you is going to be none less than what I represent on this t-shirt, Bankhall. Now, in the 1790s, the original Bankhall Distillery produced malted whiskey, malted barley whiskey, and grain whiskey on industrial quantities that we would even find hard to imagine by today's standards. And this was actually then exported over Hadrian's Wall into Scotland and actually used in Scotch blends of all places. The distillery itself, although sadly long gone and no trace of it remains, closed down between the First and the Second World War. However, the Howes Wood Group have now revitalised and rejuvenated the idea of Bankhall, and keeping to the Northern English roots, have set up a new distillery in Blackpool, and which is a fantastic place if you ever get a chance to go there. Blackpool illuminations for the lights turning on, and of course sticks of rock, which they're famous for. Now, this distillery that we have seen today set up in its current form was established back in 2019. However, the first whiskey being produced was done so in March 2020. There's two expressions currently out. It's too young to be called whiskey yet, but it's definitely making a good attempt of the maturing spirit that it does have out in releases. One's the Sour Mash, and the other one is called Rebellion, and they can be both bought online around the UK, and they are really worth trying out. And I'm really excited to be able to give you a tasting review on one of these maturing spirits today. So the actual distillery itself is unique, I think, in English distillation, for the fact that it's producing, in essence, an American bourbon, but we can't obviously in the UK call it bourbon without getting sued. It comes, I think there's over a 51% corn that's gone in there. There's over 20% rye, and whatever the remainder is malted barley. But the exact mash bill is kept under tight lock and seal because that's an industrial secret. If you go into the distillery, you'll be met by blues jazz playing over a loudspeaker, and there is not a bit of wood to be seen in sight except for the maturing casks on site. Everything else is either stainless steel or copper. The stills as well, interestingly enough, they are not bragging. They do triple distillation on site, and this is all overseen by Vince Olson, who originally came from Arizona, and actually, I believe, if I'm right in saying this, actually was in a high profile distillery producing bourbon in New York, in a boutique where he learnt his craft before being reeled over to the UK and like set about putting his mark on the emerging sour mash scene, if you like, of English whiskey. It comes off the stills after triple distillation at 71%. Everything is done on site. Interestingly enough, a lot of the equipment, if I'm not mistaken, was named after Star Wars. So if you like your sci-fi and you get a chance to go and have a look around this distillery, it's an unassuming industrial building, but what lies inside is absolutely tantalizing, and the staff there are on as pleasant as the whiskey that is made. It is absolutely beautiful. So they actually released their whiskey expressions on what would have been American Independence Day. Another little twist there, and the actual maturation of their spirit has gone into ex-bourbon barrels. So the influence there of UK cereal and climate with a heavy sway and influence from across the pond in the USA coming over to create the current day Bankhall. Now, the whiskey that I have, or the maturing spirit I have, is this little beauty that was kindly donated to me from the distillery by Vince. So a massive shout out to him, and I hope he's keeping well, and the team. I'm going to give you a tasting review and hopefully encourage maybe you guys to give it a try for yourselves. So what I sometimes do is if I get a miniature, I like to do that because it just like agitates inside and oxidizes what we've got to taste and review here. And that's a healthy miniature. I will save a little bit for later just in case. So guys, let's dive straight on in. As we can see, the colour, you can see that. I'm going to say that that's just gold. It's like a deep barley, a gold. On the nose, it's like nothing else that I've ever tried before. It is fantastically sweet. It's like a vanilla, very vanilla-y custard biscuit, like a, you know, almost like a sweet bourbon biscuit, but with a custard centre. A little bit of coconut there as well. Honey glazed. It carries on that sweet note from the rye going through there. It's like a honey glazed cornbread baked with. There's like a brown sugar in the background there, and the whole thing is very fragrant with a really strong. It's funny because there's like a tug of war going on. The body itself is actually quite mild, but you've got the richness of the cereal, of the rye, producing most of this kind of really kind of dough, this like fresh, spicy, rich dough kind of body, also flavour. But you've got the triple distillation when it comes off the stills at 71% before being proofed down or reduced down to cask strength. You've got this fantastic tug of war. On the end, really well rounded, creamy richness, and there's kind of like an apple core there, and a slight ash, but not in a bad way. It's kind of gives it a little bit of a gritty feel to an otherwise really punchy, sweet, and kind of well-rounded finish there. So guys, that's it from me on Bankhall. That was the Bankhall's sweet mash, aka bourbon, but we can't call it that for obvious reasons. Hopefully next year these guys will be producing and releasing their whiskey, because March 2023 will be their big milestone. I'm sure they have some fantastic unique treats lined up for us. If you do get a chance to go and see the distillery, I can't recommend it enough. The team there are absolutely amazing, and it really is reflected in the spirit they produce. So that's all from me, guys. If you've got any questions, do drop them in the comment box below. I always love to hear from people. I will try my best to answer them. If you think I've missed out anything, or if you've got a bit of knowledge to impart, then please do share. This is what this channel is all about, sharing the love for all things whiskey and knowing and building knowledge. So keep safe, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.